Hi, everybody. I'm excited today. Listen, you have to understand why I'm excited. Guys, has anyone, okay, this is for speaking from Toronto. Has anyone in the Toronto, the GTA, stepped outside today? Finally, death is over and growth begins. It's so exciting, guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to In the Now. We're late, but, it's kind of a trend. I think it's just like, because we're so in the now that it's late. Does that make sense?
Say that again?
We're so in the now that we're late. It's not confusing. I want to thank, of course, my team back here. We have Dave on the right-hand side of me, who is taking care, is on MyTCN. Of course, make sure you guys go to MyTCN TV network. If you are seeing me on Facebook, if you're not, if you're on YouTube, you can catch me. We're also on Periscope. And I'm going to ask Grant to put in that call-in number in case people do want to call in, but I should probably just know the number as well. So guys, honestly, thank you for being here. My team's back here. Anisha is holding it down behind production, making everything look good, making sure we flow. Can never forget the team because they make my life easy. All right, so in the now, what do I have for you guys? I have a few things, and what I've decided I want to do, as you guys know, there's some changes coming. I'm so excited. I'm not going to let too much go, but as we begin to evolve as a network, I want to evolve as well. So I've decided that, you know what, I do love the community stuff, and I'm going to continue to do community stuff because this is my community, but I'm also going to go international because we want to, highlight things that are happening outside of the country. We want to expose things that are happening outside of the country, and we want to give perspective from all different angles, and just so we can all have a viewpoint on what's going on. Sometimes many of us here take for granted what we have until we look outwards and see what we don't have. Then it's like, oh, right? So just always keeping things in perspective. So let's talk about banking black in the U.S. I can't even say, I've been messing that up. It's not even a tongue twister. Banking black. Okay, banking black, banking black, banking black. Got it. Okay, Banking Black USA is on a mission to move 500 million into black banks by 2018. So they started this in 2016, and we are now in 2018. So the hashtags, in case you need to know, is hashtag move your money, hashtag bank black. In July of 2016, over 8,000 people in Atlanta, and this is where it's kind of originated, the genesis of it is happening, they moved their money to the historically black-owned bank, Citizen Trust Bank in the city. They also have a Commonwealth National Bank. The Move Your Money and the hashtag Bank Black movement began in protest to the police and, of course, all the shootings that were happening. The most recognizable ones, of course, Alton Sterling and Philandra Castile. So the repeated police killings of unarmed black men and the lack of justice for those who commit the acts has pushed many of the African Americans to a point where they're looking for ways to empower themselves. And one great way to do that, of course, is when it comes to finances and economics. It's something that we have to catch up on. We're still playing catch up on. And I don't think we're ever going to totally catch up, but at least we're working towards it. So today, that's why I want to talk about what's happening in the economic world in America. But you know what? I also bring it up because I want to start seeing some movement here. So the grassroots effort has seen over 50 million transferred into several black-owned banks across the nation. Now, it's interesting because this is nothing new. Martin Luther King himself spoke about this in his very last speech, I Have a Dream. So I'm going to just read a little bit of that. Now, the other thing we'll have to do is this: always anchor our external direct action with the power of economic withdrawal. We've got to strengthen black institutions. I call upon you to take your money out of the banks downtown and deposit your money in the Tri-State Bank. We want a bank-in movement in Memphis. Go by the Savings and Loan Association. I'm not asking you something that we don't do ourselves at SCLC. So he basically went into, in his speech, so this is nothing new, that he wanted us as blacks to start empowering ourselves economically. It's interesting because when you review that speech, there's so many things. And of course, there was something else that Martin did speak on that a lot of people don't. And he talks about that whole idea of, segregation and how basically he wasn't that good of an idea after all. So just on a little aside, really go back and look at some of his speech and some of the things he's talked about, because you start to see how he began to really see America, which is why he's saying things like this. So Roland Martin with News One spoke with Justin Garrett Moore, the co-founder of Bank Black USA. Here's what he had to say in a small video clip.
King's clarion call for another local bank in.
We don't have to burn our city down, but what we can do is go down to your banks tomorrow. You can go to your bank tomorrow and you can say, until you as a corporation start to speak on our behalf, I want all my money. Right. And I'm taking all my money to Citizens Trust.
All right, joining us now from Brooklyn via Skype, Justin Garrett Moore, who was so energized by Killer Mike's charge to Bank Black that Justin co-founded Bank Black USA. Justin, also, we're seeing now that, look, we're losing black banks. Chicago, same thing when it came to Seaway Bank. So it's third largest collection of African Americans in the country. No black banks in that city.
Right. Yeah, the loss of these black institutions is something that we really need to be concerned about. In 1994, there were 55 black-owned banks in the U.S., and today we've only got 20, including, as you mentioned, Seaway that was just sold. So really having a movement of people to move their deposits and move their money into these banks is really critical to make sure that we have the financial foundations for these institutions to succeed.
And when you talk about this particular movement, what have you seen thus far in terms of success?
Mm-hmm. So, as you mentioned, Killer Mike was really instrumental in getting the word out and restarting the movement in July, and this was really after the rash of police shootings over the summer.
So as you can see, there's a lot of people backing this movement. Someone a very strong, this brother is, just his name, Killer Mike, he has a one song, oh boy. Dave, is it that one song that I like and it's him and he's going off?
He's on that verse, it's T.I.
It's T.I., okay. Yeah. It's T.I.'s song, but Killer Mike's on it. Yeah, anyhow, there's this, what's it called? Okay, don't worry about it. So celebrities like Killer Mike, Usher, and Solange Knowles have encouraged fans to open accounts with black banks. So Killer Mike urged 1 million people to open a $100 account with a black-owned bank, but putting your money in a black-owned bank doesn't just benefit the bank, okay? Now, I don't know why I'm having so many problems saying Bank Black and Black Bank. I need to get it together. Solange openly expressed that she is a client of a black-owned bank and encouraged others to do as well on her website, listing the 21 black-owned banks in the U.S. as of July 9th, and that was 2016. So it may have gone up from then, but up until that point, I think it had gone down significantly, and I think we'll go back into that. So One United Bank, one of the largest and oldest black banks in the country with branches in California, Florida, and Massachusetts, went from opening $25 to $50 accounts a day to 1,000. Sorry, went from opening 25 to 50 accounts and then to 1,000 accounts in a day, and that just started to go up. So One United Bank amassed $3 million in deposits during the time of the initial launch of this movement. So people are getting active about this. They are. Terry Williams, who is the president and chief operating officer of the One United Bank, explains this. It is important that we value our spending power. The black community spends $1.2 trillion a year, which is larger than some countries, yet only 2% of that spending is actually spent in the black community. So you know what I'm gonna do? I want to pull up my next slide because it actually starts to show the lifespan of the black dollar. So to build black wealth, we must recycle black dollars back, of course, into the black community. In fact, William believes this movement is the tip of the iceberg, and she sees this enthusiasm for supporting black banks expanding as time goes on, which I think it would, because when you take a look at that lifespan, so it lasts 28 days in the Asian community. So they circulate their money from the time they get the money in their hand, it stays within their community for 28 days. The Jewish community, 19 days, which, you know what? Surprisingly, I thought they'd be longer than the Asian community, but Yeah, I guess not. But what hurt me was in the black community, it stayed for 6 hours. That is an embarrassment, guys. We don't spend money with each other enough. I'm not going to say at all. I'm going to say enough. So I don't know. I really like the fact that this movement is happening. There were, and this is what I want to tell you, the stat before we leave. There were 130 black-owned banks at the beginning of the 20th century, and today the number has declined to 21. So at the beginning of the 20th century, 130, and now there's only 21. That's a problem. It's a huge problem. While Asian-owned and Hispanic-owned banks have been growing. So in comparison, we're just still not matching up. When I come back, I'm going to show you 2 more charts, and we're going to move, of course, into what's happening in Senegal. See you guys soon.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
So, of course, welcome back. Let me say that first before I curse Dave, my wonderful co-host in the corner. So he reminded me. So welcome back to In the Now. Let me do that first, sorry. So he just had to give me a correction, and I'm going to stand corrected. He said that number, do you even have a number for me before you're correcting me? Oh, so he corrected me without a number. So it's apparently less than 6 hours. I don't know why he wants to make this worse. Could we not have just kept it at 6? That was embarrassing enough. Do we have to go further than 6 hours?
Hopefully it'll propel people to move positive.
Okay, hopefully we'll propel you guys to move positively, Dave says. Let's take a look at the graphs that I have there. And we're gonna talk. I want you I'm gonna actually talk about them while you guys are looking at them. So, the issue of racism in finance has been prevalent in the U.S. for years. So this is from the Center for American Progress. They wrote about the systematic inequality that helped create the black-white wealth gap. So this has been studied, this has been analyzed, guys. This is not just, they're saying, again, this is what I love about information. It's hidden in plain sight. This is accessible. I clicked on Google and it was there, which means information is there. You guys, there's a problem here, okay? The racial wealth gap. Wealth in this country is unequally distributed by race, and particularly between white and black households. African American families have a fraction of the wealth of white families, leaving them more economically insecure and with fewer opportunities for economic mobility. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, okay, well, while we know this, why we keep saying this? Because sometimes I want people to understand there is a reason why sometimes we cannot progress. It's not always that we're not trying or that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. There are actual glass ceilings that have been put there. It's just that we have to learn to get around them, either break them or figure out a way to get around them and above them, okay? So the median black wealth in 2016, and this is my second graph, this was 2016, sorry, it amounted to 13,000 less than 10% of the, oh my goodness, 142,000 median white wealth. 13,000, 142, those numbers. So the average black wealth was 11% that of whites, and slightly more than 1/4 of blacks had no or negative wealth. As this report documents, even after considering positive factors such as an increased education level, African Americans have less wealth than whites. So even though we are doing our absolute best, there is a ceiling, like I said, that has been put there. And most of it is because we just give our money away. So Hashtag Bank Black movement helped spark a necessary flame, but more needs to be done, okay? The Center for American Progress put forth a list of recommendations. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them. I have a few of them here, but I will say one that did stick out to me. So the one about policy. So it is crucial to ensure that policies aimed at reducing the black-white wealth gap focus on African Americans getting access to that type of wealth, building instruments that can help them build and transfer wealth over time. What I don't want you guys to take away from that is dependency. I want you to take away from that initiative that we have to be doing a little bit more, and that our culture and that us as a people probably should be doing a little bit more. So they want also talk about things like raising the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $15 per hour. So there's a few different things that have come up, but making movements. Hashtag Bank Black. It's a good topic. It's kind of cool. You know, some of that message is discouraging, but the rest is uplifting. Yay. We have to get back up to 130 banks, guys. Okay, so let's go international. Let's take a flight. Let's go to Senegal. And let's talk about what the women in Senegal are doing. So Senegal's women run radio stations, broadcast for peace. So I'm going to apologize for now. I will steal Dave's line when he says, I've lost my foreign tongue. I have. It's gone. Okay? But I'm going to do my best with these names. What do you say?
Mother tongue.
I've lost my mother tongue.
Right now, you use your foreign tongue.
Apparently. Anyways, leave me alone. So, female reporters at Kasumé Radio in Ziguinchor, a small coastal city in Senegal's Casamance region, are breaking communication barriers between opposing sides in this ongoing Casamance conflict. So, the Casamance conflict is an ongoing low-level conflict that has been waged between the government of Senegal and the movement of democratic forces of Casamance. Oh, they gave me the French and everything. I ain't saying all of that. And it's been happening since 1982. Casamance is separated from the rest of Senegal by the Republic of Gambia. Now, ethnic and religious differences between the two regions, as well as a sense of economic and political marginalization from the rest of the country, has led to this rise of independence and this movement in Casamance in 1982. But of course, with these type of movements, there's obviously some injuries and war and unnecessary casualties. So thousands of people have been killed in the more than 3-decade-long conflict, and tens of thousands have been displaced, according to the UN. While the Movement of Democratic Forces of Casamance, which they call the MFDC, and the Senegalese army declared a unilateral ceasefire in 2014, violent clashes have continued in recent years, and the separatist rebellion in southern Senegal is West Africa's longest-running civil conflict. So this has been going on for a while. So the Casamance rebellion is much less well-known internationally than some of the other civil conflicts. And I'll be honest with you, until I saw this research and saw this research, of course, thank you again, Ms. Frances Cisse, for setting this up for me. I didn't even realize that this was happening. So these are, again, getting perspective on what's happening. This has been going on for years, since 1982. So the network of community radios for peace and development in Casamance is very, very important, and I'm going to tell you why. The first station was created in 2004, now with 18 radio stations run entirely by women across Senegal's southern region, which is home to one of Africa's oldest separatist movements. So currently, there are 52 reporters who work for the network, who host broadcasts in 17 languages, and are considered to be essential to the platform for the promotion of peace in the country. So without these women right now, there would be no peace. And this is just women taking it upon themselves to promote peace and speak peace. So people here in Casamance think they are not really a part of Senegal, says Aminata Main, a women's rights activist and also one of the reporters at Radio Casamance. This is one of the reasons why Main and other reporters seek to promote the dialogue and keep dialogue open about what's happening, and at least people can feel like they're heard, which is an important thing. So they cover various topics: conflict, cross-border conflict issues, religion, children's rights, women's rights, disability, and some segments, of course, featured, and they'll have listeners call in and, of course, voice their opinions, voice their thoughts. So The radios are now a tool for all the Senegal's population to communicate, whether you are a Wolof or a Jola, which I'm guessing are two different tribes. They want to keep the floor to the government and the whole population to exchange opinions. So also they use this as a way for the government and the people to communicate. So it's a really, really helpful network that they're running up there. And of course, what fascinated me is the fact that it was women. It really shouldn't fascinate me because we are amazing. So while women are generally highly respected in Wolof and other Senegalese and African traditions, it is not documented that they play a major role in times of conflict in any of these traditions. But now they do because they're promoting peace. So I'm going to say her name, Ousmane Sine, or Ousmane Sane, and she's the director of the West African Research Center. Did I say she? He is the director. And you could even correct me, David. You just sat there and watched me say she.
Making sure you look good.
Okay, that's good enough. Among Jola people, women are known to be peacemakers, Sen said. If there's dialogue in their villages, they can threaten to undo their loincloths until the dispute is settled. So I'm going to stop here for a second. So you're telling me, I had to sip tea on this one. Women in this village will take off their clothes, back off their clothes to stop. I guess that would work, right, Dave? If you were fighting a man and you just saw a girl back off her clothes, would you keep fighting? I question all you men out there. Same thing. If you guys were in the middle of a fight and a woman back off all, okay, like 7 or 8 or even a group of women just took off your clothes, would that make you stop fighting? Apparently it works. So women in the region have been leading other on-the-ground initiatives to ensure long-term peace and stability in the region. The Platform of Women for Peace in Casamance is an umbrella organization, and this is the part that really made me laugh, and I have to talk about this. The U.S. Agency for International Development was funding them at one point, okay? And this is when it was founded 15 years ago. But last year, the organization stopped receiving funds with no explanation. Since then, the women have taken upon cashew harvesting and creating food market. Now, why would the U.S. want to silence peace? Guess they can't sell guns if they're silencing peace, can they? Or if they're, sorry, they can't sell guns if it's peaceful, right? So why send money to, sometimes it's like in clear sight, guys. So when we come back, well, first of all, I want to commend these women in Senegal, and you can find out some more information about them. And you know what? If anything, reach out. I might myself just reach out to them because I think they're doing fabulous work. Just let them know that we do support them for your efforts. And you know what? Keep doing what you do. All right? When we get back, we'll head to Brazil. Heading someplace else, guys. See you soon.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm having fun today. It's Friday and it's beautiful. And great things are happening. I'm kind of woman powering it today. I didn't realize it was going to be this intense, but I kind of am. So let's talk about, so we were just, if you missed the first half, let's talk about what you guys have missed, and then you can go back and kind of check out what you find interesting, okay? So at the very beginning, our first topic was about banking black, okay, and the movement that started in 2016 with aims to do great things for 2018. So I'm really hoping that it goes through. And of course, you talked about the fact that it'd be great to get that type of movement happening over here. I don't want to be follow fashion, but like, who cares, right? Let's just get it done. So then we talked about what's happening in Senegal and this ongoing civil war, and how a group of women have taken it upon themselves to provide peaceful messages and provide peaceful diplomatic talk and communication and dialogue through the radio, which is awesome. So we were just talking about, of course, showing what's happening internationally and seeing how we can, of course, as a community, lend our support. So I'm going to hit those ladies up. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. So now we're going to Brazil. And I was just telling my team here, when you guys see this woman who, okay, let's talk about what it's about first. So there's a squat in Brazil, and I don't know if anyone knows what squatting is. Most people know what squatting is. It's when you live in people's house that's just kind of there, and you're not paying nothing. You're just living there. You're squatting. And at any moment, though, the thing with squatting is like it's not yours. So at any moment, you can get kicked out or run out if someone bigger comes along, right? Like it's not yours. But there's a squat in Brazil that is run completely by women. So again, women going hard, okay? Brazil is considered one of the world's most unequal countries in the world. And nowhere is there more evident than the largest city, which is Sao Paulo. So home to nearly 20 million people, it's estimated that nearly 1 million people need homes. So there's been something happening over there. Minha casa, minha vida. So I'm going to explain what that means. In 2009, the Brazilian government rolled out a social program called Minha Casa, Minha Vida, My House, My Life. And this is aimed at placing low-income Brazilians in housing units across the country. But in 2016, the government announced cuts to this program worth tens of billions of dollars. So they were so close. And then cuts happened for whatever reason. Last year, wearing red hats and waving red flags, reading Housing Dignity Now and People Without Fear, 200,000 homeless Brazilians marched 20 kilometers, which is, of course, equates to about 14 miles, through the city of Sao Paulo to protest Brazil's housing crisis. So the country has seen an increase in real estate developments aimed at higher earners. City Lab has reported and many plots of land owned by international financial speculators that could be developed. So there's some of this wording sometimes when I get this stuff, I'm just like, just say that there's a whole bunch of people that are not supposed to be there buying up property. And basically this property could be used for families to have homes who actually live there. But of course, the mighty dollar has taken over. So in the absence of low-income housing in Brazil's major cities, many have taken to squatting in informal locations in cities like Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. So women now, of course, in doing this, are particularly vulnerable to this housing shortage. But one squat on the outskirts of Sao Paulo has tried to address that by creating a feminist community. It has been dubbed Occupation Hope. So Nana de Souza, Occupation Hope founder, tells her story in this video.
Grupo de mulheres ocuparam e a gente está aqui até hoje, né? Lutando pela moradia.
E aqui tem uma diferença muito grande, que é as mulheres. Tem associação, 70% a 80% da associação é mulheres.
Meu nome é Naná, eu tô aqui na ocupação há fazer 5 anos. Vim para cá porque não aguentava mais pagar aluguel. Que a gente, quem trabalha ganha um salário mínimo, uma miséria, né? Que ganha uma miséria, né? Que tem 4, 5 filhos, não dá para pagar aluguel. Passa fome, porque aqui a gente vai para luta. A gente não tem medo de lutar e a gente vai mesmo lutar com guerra mesmo, sem medo de nada. Então, as mulheres que quiserem se juntar, vir somar com a gente, estamos aqui para ensinar um pouco que a gente aprendeu para o próximo, né? Se sente mais seguro e tem muitas.
So, I'm going to give you a little summary, of course, because there's a lot of subtitles there, but we're going to actually show a little bit more of that video so you can kind of see what has happened since she started this. I think it's brilliant. And I was laughing with these guys here because I'm like, do you know why there's no violence? Because homegirl is scary looking. I'm sorry. I was saying it. I would not fight her. I usually have no fear for certain things. I fear her. And I think most men do, which is why there's no violence at this feminist comedy. Okay, she's amazing. Like, so this group of women took over the land, and they've been through, like, I'm guessing a lot of these women have been abused that have been there. So Occupation Hope is a feminist squat community run by, of course, all women. Women make up about 80% of the leadership there, which I think is incredible. So Sao Paulo is South America's largest city and one of the most unequal. The city is suffering a huge housing crisis, which we mentioned at the beginning. And they gave us some stats. We found some stats on what's happening there with the women and why this Occupation Hope is so important. So the women at Occupation Hope are fearless and will do anything to protect where they live. So these are a bunch of gangster women who are just like, there's no way you're coming in here with any of that mess. But the reason why is because every 7.2 seconds, a woman in Brazil is victim of physical violence. And that's terrible to hear, right? Like, but of course, this is just women squatting. A lot of these women have children, as you can see in the video. Like, it's hard out there, man, because there's a lot of violence in Brazil. And I just wanted to also throw in there that, of course, Brazil, guys, as much as you may not think, is majority African descendants. I don't know if anyone knows that. They have a high population of African descendants there. They don't see that because usually you see the mixed after the Portuguese came in there, but you'll see that mix of what's going on, but they don't really show that other side. So women feel safer at Occupation Hope. And again, scary women, that's probably why they do. And they don't know their rights, so when they do come there, they educate them on these things as well. So that's really, really cool. The fact that people are also educated on what's happening and how to protect themselves, and wonderful, wonderful things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the end of this video so you can kind of see what's been done there and how much she has pushed for this movement and why I think she's such an incredible woman.
Baixar a cabeça porque estava acontecendo com elas.
Meu nome é Maura, tenho 37 anos. Era assim, ou você pagava o aluguel, ou você dava uma refeição digna para os seus filhos. E quando surgiu a Ocupação Esperança, resolveu encarar, não porque a gente queria, mas porque a gente estava precisando mesmo. E é cerveja de verdade, viu? Trabalho em casa, eu moro aqui. Tenho meu barzinho aqui, eu moro aqui, então agora pra mim tá 100% melhor. Por quê? Porque eu posso acompanhar meu filho. Não vou dizer que eu tô ganhando rios de dinheiro, mas eu ganho o suficiente pra ter uma vida estável.
E todas as mulheradas que estiver me ouvindo, não tenha medo. Lutar, ocupar e insistir até o fim, porque a gente, mulher unida, para esse Brasil.
So, wonderful things. Wonderful things. It's hard to sometimes watch some of that stuff even again for me, and this is why I've decided to give this type of information because, again, perspective. Abuse is something that's happening to women everywhere, all over the world. We hear about it here in Canada. It's obviously not as frequent as we hear about, we hear about it here more because it's closer to us, but we sometimes don't hear about how often these things are happening outside of our space and how much harder it is. There's homelessness here in Toronto and in Canada. That exists. But to the point where you have to squat and almost like build a community because it's happening so much and so prevalently. It's very tough to watch. So again, if you want more information about Occupation Hope, you can go to their website. I believe they do have a website set up. It's become a little bit bigger than what's happening there now, and I'm sure it has grown since we last reported on it, or since I'm reporting on it now, since I last got this information. But I would like you guys to also take a moment to, let me give you her name, look up Nana de Sosa, because she's also doing some other work alongside this. I didn't want to get into too much details about that type of stuff, but so now the heavy content is done. You can take off your thinking cap now and put it to the side. We talked Brazil. We talked about women supporting each other through abuse and setting up a community for them. We spoke of women promoting peace, and we spoke about banking black. When we come back, we are going to do some personal work. Yep. We're going to talk about 5 ways that you can deal with disappointment. I'll see you guys soon.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
You guys caught me mid-cuss. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Today, so for the last segment, I wanted to talk about something that I think with this show, there's so much we can do. And something that happens very much in the now, which is, it happens a lot, and some of you might be feeling this right now, is disappointment. I want to send out this message for everybody because I think it's important that we understand how to handle it, because some of us don't know how to handle disappointment. So let's take a look at what disappointment is. So disappointment is an emotion that many of us have, and it's usually about handling a situation or something that's come up that we wanted it to be some way, but then it wasn't. So let me give some examples. So you wanted to get a job, you think you did really good on the interview, you don't get the job. You have a relationship, it's going for a long time, it breaks up, you're disappointed. You tell someone something, they talk your business, you're disappointed. You find out your man or your woman's cheating on you, you're disappointed. Your children aren't doing as well in school as you would like them to do, you're paying a lot of money for tutoring, disappointment. So it can come in many different ways, and sometimes we hold on to that disappointment, and that held on to disappointment can turn to resentment towards whoever you're holding that disappointment towards. So we need to find a way to gap that so that it doesn't go there. And you know what, one of the big things which isn't on this list is communication. We'll talk about that last, but I'm going to go through the list quickly, and then I'm going to break them down each. Okay, so 5 ways to handle major, small, little disappointments. Manage your emotions, try not to take it personally, Reflect and review your expectations of the situation or person. Look at the bigger picture. Try again with a twist. So let's start with the first one. I like this because this is how you feel when you're disappointed. So you start happy at the very top there with the M beside the M. Then you find the disappointment in your face kind of looks like that sticky pad beside it to the left or the one right underneath it, right? Then the face at the very corner, the downward face, yeah. Now you're just upset, salty, real salty. And then like, hopefully we get you back to that corner one with the mouth open. That's what we want to get you to again, because like this is a cycle. You're going to feel disappointed. So you need to experience your emotion. This is something that I say to people. Feel it in that moment, in that now that you're having that disappointment. Don't let people say, oh, don't worry about it. No, let me worry about it for the moment in that now. Then you have to let it go. But don't let anyone tell you not to feel the emotion. You feel that emotion as hard as you would like to. Feel it till its very core, but you got to monitor that too, because you don't want to let that go on for weeks, then months. Because once it starts going to months, now it turns into a mental health issue. So we don't want that happening, okay? So don't be tempted to make any important decisions. This is a huge one. So we get disappointed because we find out that our man, our woman, has been cheating on us, or that our best friend is not the friend that they said they were, or your coworker isn't doing things that you like them to do. Sometimes you can react emotionally quickly, and it's the worst time for you to make a decision. You must always wait. I tell everyone, before you make a decision about anything, and especially when you're in the height of your emotion, try to give yourself at least 1 to 2 days. I know it's hard, but give yourself a couple days so you can really start to think rationally about it. Because when you're not thinking rationally and you're thinking emotionally, that's when we make our most stupid errors. So you may want to break up with that person, but once I go through the rest of the list, you might understand why it takes a moment. You should take a moment and step back from your emotions and deal with that, okay? So don't take it personally. So many of us are too ready to say, okay, oh my gosh, it's because of me. What did I do wrong? I'm guilty of this. Did I not do something right? How did I not catch that? That's probably the best one I hear. How did I not see that? Don't take it so personally. Let go of your ego. Things happen. This is a part of life. Disappointment, sorry, it's a part of life. It's one of the things I try to tell my students every day. Oh, well, Simone, are you going to give me that candy? No, I'm not, because you didn't do your work. Then the face gets messed up. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how you make up your face. Disappointment happens. Get used to it. Next time, learn from it. Do your job next time. Then you'll get my lollipop. But now, I'm going to eat my lollipop in front of you because you didn't do your work. Is that bad? Is that evil? Okay. So you have to sometimes take the time to understand the event, the entirety of the event. And again, it's all about stepping back and stepping away from the problem, okay? This one's huge, especially when you talk about disappointment with people. Review your expectations, everybody. What were you expecting from a situation? What? I think, is my expectations picture there? Yeah. Show my expectations. Like, what were you, some of us like hang around snakes and wonder why we get bitten. Because you're hanging around a snake. That's what happens. Or you wonder why, you get stung up by bees. Did you walk by the beehive? What did you expect? Were you hanging around a bee? What did you expect? You have to be careful of your expectations of people, everybody, because no one is ever going to entirely live up to your expectations. And if you continue, and I'm not saying for you not to have any, you have to have expectations of yourself. What are you going to do in certain situations? Because you can't depend on someone to do that for you. This is about you. You've got to take care of yourself in situations. Not expect people to, because it's never going to happen, I'm telling you. It's not. You have to learn to cope with some realities, okay? Like, people are going to disappoint you. Again, it's just a part of life, okay? That one I had to kind of learn myself too. So listen, this is life. These are learning lessons, okay? The big picture. I love this idea of the big picture. And again, this takes stepping away from your situation. It gives you the ability to self-reflect and really understand what happened to you, which is, of course, self-reflection is great for mental health. Take some time to explore what is happening to you and around the event. What could you have missed maybe a little bit? And what could you correct for the next time? Because whatever's happened already happened. You got to just let that go now, right? You have to understand that it's done. It's over with. So something that's important that a lot of us don't do, it's hard to see the bigger picture when you're stuck in blinders. And when you're emotional, when you're upset, when you're feeling disappointed and frustrated, you know what happens, guys? This is what happens. Blinders go up immediately, and you're not seeing anything out of that, which is why it's very important to have, I always say, have a good counselor, have a good mentor, have a good therapist, because they are not emotional. They're not attached to the situation. So they can give you objective opinions or objective ideas, never opinions, because you don't need anyone's opinions. Objective ideas of how to look at this picture. Because you're looking at it like this. They're looking at it like this. You need help with that. You cannot do that alone. I don't care how great you are. Even the greatest psychologists, they always say the greatest psychologists need a psychologist, because even us, we get caught into our ideologies and our thoughts and our ideas and our beliefs and our faith, and we do this. Bigger picture, okay? Last one, try again or try another way. Now, sometimes I wonder why people get upset. And I have my insanity quote there, which I'm going to put up, because this is what it is. It's just straight up and down insanity. Some of us continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and wonder why we're getting the exact same results. If you have been disappointed by someone over and over and over again, guess what? You might just have to just take that L on the person, okay? Which means you're gonna have to do something different. Whatever you may have, whatever type of expectation or trust you may have had with that person, you may have to draw that back and reevaluate. Again, going through your list, looking at the bigger picture, taking time to step away from the emotion, understanding that what you're doing is not working, and now you're causing your own disappointment, right? That's huge. Sometimes we don't understand we are our own worst enemy. We'll continue to do these things and wonder why it's not working. Why is this not working? Woe is me. No woes. So let me go over the 5 with you one more time if you're just tuning in now. I'll say them quickly. So the first thing, I'm getting used to this whole like 2-finger thing on the iPad now. It's really cool. This is not an iPad. This is a Mac. What's it called? MacBook? All right. So don't shake your head at me like that, Dave, which is I'm computer illiterate. Leave me alone. Manage your emotions. Try not to take it personally. Reflect and review expectations of a situation. Look at the bigger picture. Try again, but with a twist. Wow, did Anisha throwing up my picture of them like that? I appreciate you. Guys, I hope this was a good ending for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you like the fact that I did take it internationally this time. And of course, I need you, because you guys make up the show. Again, a lot of this information I'm getting from you guys about what we want to talk about. Let me know. Again, we have a surprise coming up in a couple weeks, and I want to be prepared for you. Send me any of your ideas to Simone at Carib101.com, or you can send them straight onto the comment section below of the YouTube video. You can go to my TCN TV network, the website, or YouTube, or Facebook, or Instagram. You can find us anywhere. Put in your question, put in your comment, put in your suggestion. We're here for you guys. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you next week.